So here we are in our little music practice space, and I think we've been playing here for quite a while, and we've been playing on the same stage for quite a while.
Sure.
But I know that there's a little hidden implication, because I know that you have a job if something were to happen and Finland would need to start being prepared.
Right. If that would happen, then I would be working in the propaganda department of the military. Because when I joined the army, I wanted to do work with like cameras and media and stuff. And the Finnish army enables you to do that if you want to be like a journalist or a camera person or even do stuff with music. You can do that if you apply to the right place in the right time. So what I did in the military, I was like the media person for the presidential band, the Guards band. And when I actually got out of the military, I applied to do assistant editing in a TV show. And I think I got in because of the fact that I had just been 7 months doing day-to-day media work and showed in my CV that I have the attitude and the work ethic for doing day-to-day media jobs.
It kind of sounds like you went through school, went through high school, went to the military, but the military actually gave you a guiding career to come out afterwards?
Yeah, very much so. And it gave me like contacts. Many people that I work with now are people that I met in the military, in the media field or in the music field.
But I know you don't work in TV at the moment. I know you're actually, the art director and the executive producer of Moomin concerts?
Yes, with the person I went to the military with, Seppo, who is my good friend. He and I came up with this idea of doing the 90s Moomin TV series soundtrack live in concert. It has never been done before. We used to like do marketing for classical concerts, work in these venues around Finland, and work behind the mixing table, like doing the visuals for the concerts. We got that experience in the army of how these like classical concerts work. A few years later, we're doing like our own thing in these same venues, but now as producers in the same places that we used to be at as conscripts.
So you two were in the same unit, so presumably yes. You were locked into the same room for what, 7 months?
7 months in the same small room with
right.
three laptops, yeah.
Okay, so the process of being locked in that same room for 7 months is that you've got a media training from the military, and then you found a co-producer to produce what is effectively one of the largest orchestrations of the Moomin's music, which is the soundtrack to Finnish childhood.
That's basically, yeah, you said it yourself. I've gotten like, obviously work experience in the military and obviously like people who I've met, like in this example, like my co-producer for the Moomin thing. And especially like now that we're doing the Helsinki Music Center this coming November, that's one of the same places that we were at in the military doing like behind the scenes work with Seppo. So now we've just moved from the mixing table to be the producer. So it's same people, same place. But yeah, we got that experience in the army. So I'm forever grateful for being able to do my military service in those positions.
It must sound a little bit crazy to people outside of Finland. The idea of the soundtrack of Finnish childhood performed by a symphony orchestra is organized by two people who met in the military and got their training in the military.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, there is a bit of a contradiction in the sense because the Moomins are like this very peaceful, like nature-loving fairy tale in a way, and the people who met in the military working on that, it's something that comes maybe quite naturally, because I think the military is not necessarily viewed as such in the same way as it is elsewhere.
So we play in a punk rock band,
yeah.
But every single member there has a certain specialty that comes from a military background. Can you try to understand how crazy it is for me that no matter what stage we go on, we're effectively a military outfit?
Yeah, that's true. Again, it's something that I think all the Finns in the band sort of take for granted, because like most males at a certain age have been in the military, build weapons, fly drones and stuff like that. So everybody has their own speciality, but it's not something we really think about.
I travel through what is my local bunker just by commuting to work every morning.
Yeah.
Do you think that like association to military and preparedness is just ingrained into Finns?
I think it's, again, something that we take for granted in a way. It's like when we walk past like the rooms marked with the triangles showcasing that it's bunker, it's not something that we really think about, the actual situation that we would have to use it when the shit hits the fan. You know, my parents have like, at their house, underneath their stairs, is like a cupboard of like food that lasts for long, you know. It's not that they think of like preparing for a conflict, but it's something that they've always learned to live with. It's not something we think about, but we are ready if something would happen.
How confident do you feel in Finland's preparedness?
It's not something that I think about regularly, but maybe more in recent years because of the very large reserve. And I think like relative to our population size, I think like artillery and stuff like that, we're in quite good hands. Diplomatically, I think we are quite also in a good position. That's like the defense that I have maybe even more faith in than like the actual like artillery and like military is I think that we have very good way of talking, especially between these large countries and large like nations.
So do you think the most important part of defense is the Finns' knowledge and how they use it?
Essentially, I think, yeah. And maybe like the attitude and how we feel about our independence and stuff like that. I think that's something we get from a very young age. Even without the sense of like nationalism, we have like this sense of pride of our own culture and our language and our own nature especially. And I think that's something that unifies everybody in Finland.
Do you actually have saunas on board here?
Of course, all the icebreakers have saunas.
We give them the freedom to love their profession.
We see how capable the Finns are. Do you think the Scots are as capable as that?
Oh yes. I made myself a big promise.
Hurra, hurra, hei siellä Mannakorven mailla, siellä ei enää tiputeta pontikkaa.